This thing we call life unfortunately gets wasted for most people, especially the dreamers who see life as an exciting moment to be enjoyed to the fullest, but are held back due to the conventional thinking that retirement is something you work your whole life for. In today's video, we're killing that notion, showing you how you can retire living on just $2,000 a month before you turn 40. To be fair, this model applies for singles who are ready to start living life on their own terms. On this channel, I discuss living globally along with business hacks in real estate and healthcare, showing you a path so that you can do the same. I want you to be able to go out there and live your dreams. And for most people, it's access to an alternative line of income that's holding them back from doing so. If this is the sort of content that you want more of, make sure that you like, subscribe, and turn your notification bell on so you don't miss a thing. My name is Carl Pierre, and this is ENTP Life. I have a free webinar named The Pathway to Wealth, which teaches you the techniques that I've used to build a multi-million-dollar portfolio of businesses and real estate that provides income for me and my family. Because I've made smart investments, I live globally while being able to give my kids a rich global experience. So whether you're a single person looking to follow this $2,000 retirement plan or a family looking to retire early, my wealth building seminar functions as a great educational tool to put you on the right track. You might be skeptical that retirement is possible on only $2,000 a month. The crazy thing is, I'm being generous considering that the average Social Security check is only $1,500 a month, and people are expected to live on that in the United States. My strategy to live a good early retirement relies heavily on global arbitrage. This is where you earn US dollars, but live internationally. Let's take a look at all the cities you could live in for $2,000 a month. So I'm on my old faithful site here, nomadlist.com. And what I did was apply a filter for less than $2,000 a month. As you can see, there's multiple countries, 563 cities that are showing where you can live for less than $2,000 a month. So we have the Canary Islands of Spain, beautiful place. Buenos Aires, Argentina, Budapest at just $1,082 per month, and that's in Hungary. Well-developed, well-organized city. I've been to Budapest, awesome place. Warsaw, Poland, Chiang Mai, Thailand, Bulgaria, Tbilisi, tons and tons of places. Sao Paulo, Brazil, $1,400 per month. Bangkok, Thailand, $1,200 per month. If you click into this, you get to see some additional cost here and additional details. So they give you an overview of what it's like to live in the city, total score, internet speed, all the things that people would typically look into when they're thinking about living in a new city. But if you go to this cost of living page, it shows you the cost of living as a nomad. And it says a nomad is a person who is a digital nomad, sleeps in cheap hotels or private rooms, 3 stars. Key point being that you're using hotel accommodations. You're not doing a long-term rental. However, if you slide on over to an expat living, this is someone who's living in a city, maybe not in the city center because they're not really too interested in living in like the tourist hub, but they're living in the same city, maybe a little bit outside of town, commuting in and out the city when they want, renting long-term, and they're living an middle class to upper class lifestyle as a foreign expat. If you go even further, since you want to live like a local, you get it down to $773, and that's in Bangkok. Scrolling down, let's look for some other cool cities that would be interesting. Istanbul, Turkey, historical world city. Downside, internet sucks there. However, I'm pretty sure you could find high-speed internet if you needed to. Again, if you wanted to become a member of Nomad List, you have the option of becoming a member. That way you could be part of a network, talk to other people who are actually living in these areas, and get more and more information to help you make that decision. Another cool thing is that you could actually sort through different factors and different filters that you want to take into consideration. For example, you can figure out if it's good for a family. Is it Jewish friendly? Is it Muslim friendly? Maybe you have concerns about racism. There's options there for you to filter for that. There's even an option where you could filter if there's no history of ever being colonized, right? So if you don't want that tradition that colonialism brought, you have an option to search for that. Yeah, you could mix and match whatever you want to do. Now that I've proved that there are a lot of exciting places to live in on just $2K, let's talk about the best ways that you can earn $2,000 a month passively. The first, and my favorite on the list, is real estate investing. I started to invest pretty early in my life at the age of 24 when I bought a college rental. From there, I've built my portfolio over the years, and I find this to be one of the best ways for me to earn wealth and also earn cash. The first investment was a purchase of a college rental where we subdivided the house and rented out each room in the house for a profit that provided a little more money than what we were paying to maintain that home. The beautiful thing about these types of investments is that the money's pretty predictable, and at the same time, if you own that property, you're able to pay that property down and off completely over time. So the longer that you own that property, the more cash it'll probably whip off because your rents will increase, and at the same time, you're paying down the mortgage. So when you're even older, you're gonna be able to have a really nice steady income that comes from these real estate holdings. You could also bypass management if you have enough in your portfolio or enough of a spread in that profit so that you could have those properties managed by somebody else so that money is truly passive for you. Now, you may be thinking you don't have enough money to own real estate, but that doesn't mean that you still cannot take advantage of real estate to earn income. One of the best ways to do this is a rent-to-rent strategy. You could do this by renting a home and re-renting it on Airbnb, where you're now having it as a vacation rental. The investment to start one of these is fairly low. Now, most of my Airbnbs spin off anywhere between like $900 and in good seasons, even close to $2,000 a month. And this is in New York and in Florida. I own my properties. However, if I didn't own the properties, actually the properties that I have in New York City, I don't own that are on Airbnb. I actually rent that property and have it relisted on Airbnb and make the spread every single month. The beauty in that is that it requires not so much money out of pocket up front. It's only going to be your security deposit, your first month's rent, and then whatever it's going to take to furnish it. There are some people that actually take over existing apartments that are already furnished because someone is deciding to relocate to a new state. They don't want to deal with the furniture and they have to break their lease. So you actually could come in there without having to pay anything at all, take over that apartment, and if it's in the right market, get it on Airbnb and start producing cash flow. I've also used this rent-to-rent strategy with office space. Right now is not the best time to do it with office space. I actually had to close down that business because of the pandemic. People started working from home. But when I had my office space business, I used to take out larger spaces, subdivide it, and rent it out at a premium, almost like my college rentals. So the same sort of thinking applied. And in those properties, I was spending off anywhere between $8,000 to $15,000 a month. And that was a managed business that had a receptionist in place that used to show the space, sign up the new leases. There was very little for me to do to maintain that cash flow there. And this is why it's probably my favorite group to start in. So if you have enough money to get 2 apartments going on Airbnb in a good market that's going to make you at least $1,000 a month, right there, you've earned your $2,000 a month to start living in any of those cities that we pointed out. Another is to build or buy businesses that require very little oversight and spin off cash for you. I've been fortunate enough to have like an entrepreneurial spirit and actually go after building my own businesses. The beautiful part about building a real business, not a small business where you're tied to that business and the only way that you earn money is by working there. I mean a business that has management in place, that has employees in place, that whether you're there or not, the business continues to run and generate income for you. These are the sort of businesses that I like to build because I really don't want to be self-employed. Like a lot of physicians who are running practices, for example, are self-employed. If they do not hire additional physicians to be part of their group, they don't earn unless they're servicing clients. For example, my brother's in this situation where he contracts and he works as a physician, and in his own practice, if he's not there to see patients, he's not earning money. So it actually makes his vacations a whole lot more expensive because there's a shortfall of income, even though he's a high earning person. If you don't have the discipline or you don't have the desire to build your own business, I totally get it. An alternative to that is to buy an existing business. And these businesses could range in size from small and maybe making just $60,000 a year profit that has an owner, operator, or a built-in kind of passive way to run that business, like perhaps a gym, for instance. That might be a good business to buy. And the thing about buying a business is that you only require about 10 to 20% of the purchase price of that business to be able to purchase that business if you're using an SBA loan. That way you don't have to take on all the risk of starting a business from scratch, that initial investment, the potential for that business to fail. But if you bought a business that already existed, that had good management in place, that's one of the best ways for you to take your money, park it in this business, this asset class that you purchased, and allow that business to make money for you. Again, it could be a wide range of businesses that make a varying amount of money, and it's all going to allow you to potentially earn that $2,000 a month. If you want more information on these SBA loans, or you want to learn exactly how to buy businesses, there's plenty of videos right here on YouTube that show you how to buy businesses, how to apply for an SBA loan to purchase a business, and so on. If you are that type of person who's interested or really likes to kind of oversee on a very superficial level, that might be a good pathway for you to earn enough passive income so that you could take your life around the world. The easiest and probably the least stressful is to invest in a publicly traded business. Investing in a business is a lot different than buying a business. When you buy a business, you're going to be the primary shareholder or the exclusive shareholder, and you're most likely going to have to guarantee the debt that you purchased that business with, or unless you purchase that business in cash, you won't have to do that. However, you're still going to have some sort of touch point or oversight of whoever is running that business. Even if you're just sitting on the board and giving your input and reviewing financials, there's still going to be some work for you. If you don't want any work at all, the alternative is to invest in a publicly traded company. Now, this is not necessarily the thing that I do, but other people like to have that ease of access to businesses that they know. For example, you could buy into Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is a dividend producing stock, and every single quarter, whenever they release their dividends to their shareholders, you'll get a small little crumb of what Coca-Cola earns as a pass-through to you. That dividend income can also be used to power your lifestyle. Me personally, I'm not a dividend trader or a dividend investor, but I see that there's other people who do that. The downside to investing in companies that are well managed, that there's really nothing that you need to do to get involved in other than put your money up, is that they usually produce a very low rate of return in the form of a dividend. Some dividends are between like 4 and 6%. There's other dividends that are higher yielding, but usually they're a little more risky and don't have the long-term stability like a Coca-Cola or a McDonald's or something along those lines. If you are interested in dividend investing, there's a bunch of examples and models right here on YouTube that will show you exactly how you could approach this. Another con that I didn't mention about dividend investing is that it's usually going to take a whole lot more money in the beginning to be able to participate and earn enough money so that you're whipping off enough cash to live internationally. For example, if a stock is only producing 4% per year as a dividend distribution, and you want to make $2,000 per month, if we do the math, you're going to need to probably have around $500,000 or so invested in that particular company to yield that sort of result for you, right? On 4% and $500,000, you're going to be pulling in about $20,000 a year in your dividend distribution, which you're going to be taxed on, and it's going to actually be less than $2,000 a month. So again, it's going to require a heavy investment to get to that point. If you were to take that same $500,000 and bought a few multifamily properties, duplexes, quads in different areas in the United States, you can own those properties outright cash, and they're going to whip off way more money in cash than investing in those dividends. In a future video, I'll discuss and go over an early retirement plan for a family, so stay tuned for that if that's your personal situation. Thanks again for joining me here at ENTP Life. Like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone you know that's looking to retire early or live an international lifestyle. Until the next one, take care.